Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Canada apparently getting ready to take the gloves off to deal with Trump. Prime Minister Trudeau hosted a meeting about Trump's tariff promises with provincial premiers, which are kind of like governors here in the States. They were drawing up lists of items Canada could place tariffs on in response to any Trump tariffs. Afterward, Doug Ford, who is the Conservative Premier of Ontario, said, quote, "We will go to the extent of cutting off their energy, going down to Michigan, going down to New York State, and over to Wisconsin. I don't want this to happen, but my number one job is to protect Ontarians and Canadians as a whole." Ford is one of the Canadian officials who seem to be trying to differentiate between Canada and Mexico, and went as far as suggesting that Canada and the U.S. develop their own trade agreement without Mexico. Maybe Trump's threats and comments about being the 51st state shifted Ford's view. Or maybe he just understands how devastating the economic impact will be for both countries. He also said, quote, "We will use every tool in our toolbox to fight back. We can't sit back and roll over. We just won't as a country. And isn't this a shame? Our closest friends and allies." The obvious question is, can Canada actually cut off the energy? Yes, they can. And it would matter. The U.S. gets half of its oil imports from Canada. Some years it's up to 60%. Canada also supplies the overwhelming majority of electricity imports. Ontario alone provides electricity for more than 1 million homes in the United States. If they cut energy exports, well, that would be a huge deal. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland said, quote, "A number of premiers offered strong support for a robust Canadian response that included some of the premiers proactively naming critical minerals and metals that their provinces produce and which are exported to the United States." Based on publicly available comments, the Deputy Prime Minister seemed most interested in pursuing a response via critical minerals. With the recent export controls by China, Canada has a lot of leverage there, and it's one of those things that will get the attention of big companies with a lot of money very quickly. I'm sure the hope is that the big money will tell Trump to knock it off. One of the reasons countries are already starting to plan their responses is because markets don't like uncertainty. Trump's statements cause uncertainty and are already starting to make investors anxious. For Canada, it's even more important to restore a level of certainty quickly. About 20% of Canada's economy is intertwined with the U.S. Other nations are still recovering from the economic effects of the pandemic as well. Not all of them did as well as the United States. It's unlikely that many countries will simply allow Trump to play the role of Captain Chaos when it comes to global trade. Not without a response that introduces uncertainty in the U.S. economy. Interesting times and all that, eh? Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.